Naguguluhan ka ba? Nako-confuse o gusto mo lang maintindihan ng sarili mo? Ito ang May ADHD Ka Ba Podcast. I am Mitch AG and in this channel, I am going to talk about adulting with ADHD. Tara, sumahan niyo ako at sabay nating alamin ang ADHD. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to feel validated. And join our community if you haven't. Tara, let's go kabaro! Hello everyone! It's been a month since I posted my last podcast episode. I mean, there's so much happened within that 1 month time period. And yeah, those are the perfect events before, those are the perfect situations na nangyari before I record this podcast because I am finally off of my antidepressants and saktong-sakto naman na ang topic natin for this podcast is moving on from depression. And I am going to share here my experiences, ano ba naging process, paano nangyari, and I got off my antidepressants. And actually, my diagnosis was changed from depression, MDD, to bipolar. I know, right? I kind of have an inkling before na meron na akong bipolar. I just like adamant. Is that the right word? Medyo parang ano lang ako, yung feeling ko lang meron, pero it's not really a huge deal. Maybe it's just my depression or my ADHD talking. But yeah, apparently, it's my bipolar pala. And yeah, you know what? We are going to talk about that in this episode. So yeah, stay tuned lang. Yun nga, I just realized na sa first episode ko, medyo mabigat, sobrang bigat. To the point na na-trigger ulit ako nung pinakinggan ko kasi parang narinig ko na naman yung mga experiences ko, yung mga bad experiences ko. But it's good. Actually, nag-second mind ako or nag-second guessing ako na baka maling i-publish ko yung episode na yun just because of what I shared in that episode. It might trigger some, it might trigger some people. I'm really afraid. But then, the listeners are really warm and welcoming in saying that that episode really helped them to navigate through their depression, and then nakarelate din sila. And then, it felt or it made them feel that they are not really alone in this journey, because depression is a really, really real thing. Hindi siya yung parang gawa-gawa lang naisip natin, tapos parang, okay, gusto ko ma-depress ngayon, wala lang kasi trip ko lang. It's not like that, okay? So, in this episode, I will just give you like a quick rundown of why depression is happening, what are the factors concerning depression that can affect you as a human, as a whole. And then, ano yung mga changes ngayon when it comes to research? And research. Just research, So, for the longest time, for 50 years, I believe, scientists and doctors believed in the monoamine deficiency hypothesis, wherein if you are depressed, you are either lacking in these 3 neurochemicals that I will mention: serotonin, norepinephrine, or dopamine, in the central nervous system. So, akala nila, just a quick pill, antidepressant, SSRIs, or tricyclic antidepressants will help you recover from your depression. And for the longest time, they have treated depression like that. So, ang system ngayon, if you feel depressed, or if you have depression, automatic, when you go to the doctor, they will prescribe you either SSRIs or tricyclic antidepressants. And then that's it. Pero ngayon, actually, there are now studies that shows na depression is not just biological. It's also cognitive and behavioral. It's also based from your traumatic experiences, especially in childhood. I want to really emphasize on that people who have traumatic childhood experiences are more susceptible to depression, and I will talk about that later. And then, meron din, lumalabas na rin ng bagong branch ng psychiatry, which is the nutritional psychiatry, that deals with the gut biome. So, there has been really helpful studies being published nowadays that relates to our mood, in our food, and our gut biome. Those three connections. Kasi sinasabi nila na majority daw ng ating neurons is in our gut. So, if you're not feeling okay in your gut and if you're not feeding yourself right food, that can also take effect in your mood. So, ikaw yung tipo ng taong mahilig mag-milk tea, mahilig mag-samyup, hindi ko kayo ginigil trip ha. Pero kung ikaw yung tao na mahilig kumain ng mga instant food, fried foods, milk tea, sangyup everywhere, parang, okay, food trip, kain dito, kain dyan, without really thinking what you are putting in your body. So, that can also affect your mood, and that can also amplify the symptoms of your depression. So, that's it. Okay, now, I will talk about my experience. I was diagnosed with MDD for a year, and then now I'm diagnosed with bipolar. My diagnosis was changed from MDD to bipolar, and I got off of my antidepressants, and this is the reason why it took me almost a month to record this episode, because I have started weaning off from my antidepressants, and I'm really trying my best to be a human as much as possible. Kasi withdrawal from the SSRIs can make you grumpy, more susceptible to anger, and then what happened is my doctor actually increased my dosage for Seroquel, or the mood stabilizer. And I have realized so many things during that 1 month span of time, and I was able to really reflect on how I managed to move on from depression with the help of my husband, with the help of my family, with the help of my church family, and with the help of my doctor as well. Okay, so let me go back to why depression happens. So now that the doctors and the researchers are steering away from that hypothesis na kulang ka lang in either serotonin or epinephrine or dopamine, kulang ka lang sa either of those, kaya ka nagkakaroon ng depression. So, depression is not just merely a chemical imbalance in the brain, but it's also triggered by several factors. So, syempre, tao tayo, we are both, comprised of biological, yes, syempre, our bodies, flesh, mental, emotional, spiritual, several aspects. And depression is not just one fold of those. It's actually a multi-fold problem. And then there's also research that has been recently happening. Actually, recently lang. And if you have heard of Gabor Mate. He's this Hungarian-Canadian physician that really talks about having a traumatic experiences, and then how it can affect your childhood, and how it can affect your health when when a person enters the young adulthood years, how it can really manifest into several things. But one statement from him that really impacted me the most is that, yay! Baby ko. So, one factor that really impacted me the most is that when he told his listeners that there has been study conducted within the population of people who have traumatic childhood experiences and people who don't have traumatic childhood experiences, and they have conducted these really amazing studies. It turned out that people who have a good, healthy childhood is less susceptible to depression. It's because of their healthy childhood that they were able to develop healthy coping mechanisms. They were able to generate the skill of, regulating their emotions. And then when these things happen, when problems happen, they were able to navigate like a mature adult. They were able to navigate through it, and they were able to move on from it. And then there's this another test. oh my gosh, I forgot the term. Sample population, sorry. So this other sample population, sila yung may mga traumatic childhood experiences. So sila yung talaga nagkaroon ng nagdevelop ng depression after traumatic experiences during adulthood. Sila yung mas naging prone sa pagdevelop ng depression. And it's really important na to see na if you're the type of person who have had traumatic experiences in childhood, it's important to remember that when you are diagnosed with depression. Okay? So, if you've had that or experienced that, don't be too hard on yourself. And yun yung mga isa sa mga natutunan ko talaga. Be kind to yourself. I'll be kind to myself. Kasi growing up, wala naman akong parang I've never experienced that feeling na meron akong matatakbuhan eh. So, ngayon na naranasan ko yung depression, I've been kind really to myself na it helped me na kung may mga araw na ayokong bumangon, hindi ako babangon. Hindi ko pipilitin yung sarili kong bumangon. Hindi ko pipilitin yung sarili kong maglinis and whatsoever. I will just let it be. Like a storm, waiting for it to pass by. Para ka lang nag-aantay ng bagyong lilipas, dadaan lang. Pero wag tatambayan. So, I just wanna share my healing journey from depression, how I moved on from that. And I believe it's gonna be very helpful then if you will be able to learn from my own experience and apply it on your own life, modify as needed. Pero this is just to give you an idea how I did it. Pero really, I cannot say that I did it kasi it's, multi-factor ulit. There's my husband, there's God, there's my doctor, and there's my church family as well. And their love healed me in so many ways, so many amazing ways. So, sige. So, being the ADHD part of me, I'm gonna discuss this through bullet points. Or let's say checklists, whatever. So, according to my personal experience and what I did for the past few months is, first thing, I practiced radical acceptance. Kasi yun pala. Kaya pala ako na-depressed. There's this part of me that cannot accept the fact that what happened really happened. For the longest time, or for almost all of my life, I have been trying to justify that the things that happened to me, that the bad things that happened to me, is because of, kasi, alam mo yun, parang, yung parents ko kasi, hindi rin maganda yung childhood nila, yada, 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 ganyan. Tapos parang, there's yung side of me na yon, it keeps on gaslighting me, na parang, hindi naman ganun kalala yung nangyari sa iyo eh. Baka yung perception mo lang yung nagpalala doon sa nangyari. But actually, it's not very helpful. Kasi kung ikaw bilang bata, you have experienced neglect in any form, there's no good reason for it actually. It's neglect. Period. It's bad. Period. It's traumatic. Period. Don't try to reason out lahat na nangyari sa iyo, don't try to reason it out. And then it took me months. Tingin ko nga almost a year of accepting what happened. If you have heard of the what's that called? If you have heard that phrase, it is what it is. And yon, radical acceptance yon. Kasi you have to accept things as it is. That is your reality. If you're neglected, that's your reality. Own it. What happened. And there's no good explanation for what happened. Don't try to reason it out. Don't try to water it down. You will just hurt yourself in the long run. And, face your hurt. Face your pain in its truest form. It is what it is. So I have learned how to accept that fact that I was really neglected heavily as a child, and up to the point na naging teenager ako, and up to the point na naging young adult ako. There's no good reason for it. What happened, and because of that traumatic experience, I spiraled down into depression. And one step in healing is accepting that happened. It happened to me. It really did happen to me. Okay? Ay medyo parang weird siguro yung first yung rule number 1 or step 1 or whatever you wanna call it, but radical acceptance talaga yung first step in healing. Yun. It is what it is. Accept your reality, accept your fact. Okay? And yeah, that helped me. It's painful. I am not saying that it's not painful. It's painful. I have to grieve about it all over again several times in my life, several nights. I have to cry about it. I have to pat myself in the back and saying that, hey, you did a great job surviving, and now here you are living, and I love you for that. Several nights, several times, several instances wherein I really did cried. Kahit nga minsan umiiyak ako, bigla na lang ako iiyak. Ayun, sorry. Minsan kung pag kumakain ako, bigla na lang ako iiyak. Ganon siya ka-impactful, but it really helped me move on. So, yeah. Move on na tayo sa step 2. Yung step 2 ko, or rule number 2, or whatever you wanna call it, is I formed a strategy to stop myself or stop my brain from ruminating. Okay. Ano po yung ruminating? Ruminating is parang lagi mong iniisip yung traumatic experience mo. And then, because dadagdag natin dito yung fact na may ADHD tayo, most of the people na nakikinig na may ADHD, when we think about certain situations na nangyari, hindi naman yung parang na, okay, paulit-ulitin ko hanggang mamanhid ako, no. It doesn't work that way sa mga merong ADHD. When we go back to the traumatic experience, it is as if we experience it, yung aso ko tumakol. Ayun. It is, sinong dagang dumaan. Anyway. Nawala ako. Oh my gosh. Okay, ruminating. It is as if yung brain mo nararanasan uli yung pain na yon. It's just you're putting yourself or your brain all over again in that really bad experience. And you're hurting yourself over and over and over again. And I assure you, that's not a good way to heal from depression. But since I cannot stop doing that, so bumalik ako sa step 1. Parang, bakit ba paulit-ulit ako sa iniisip ko? Kasi hindi ko pala tanggap or hindi ko accepted. So, nung accepted ko na, bumuha na ako ng strategy para tigilan ng utak ko yung pag-iisip. Like, literally, I'm telling to myself, parang, okay, ito na naman, iisipin ko na naman yung bad experience ko, yada, yada, yada. Ang ginagawa ko sa brain ko, stop. Stop right there. Stop thinking. It's not helpful. It's not going to benefit you. It is what it is. It happened. It happened. I am not saying to move on. I am just saying it happened. So stop thinking about it. Thinking about it will not make it easier. Thinking about it will not change what happened. Thinking about it will not change the people who have hurt you. And thinking about what happened will not heal you. Thinking and ruminating is different from reflecting. So if you find yourself stuck in that train of thought again, na parang, naalala ko yun, iniwan ako ng ex ko, tapos ako walwal ako, ganito, dinom ako dito, inom ko ganyan, yada. Ngayon, pinagsisisihan ko na, girl, stop. It happened na. Okay? Stop na tayo. Accept na natin na nangyari na yun. Okay? And please, stop na. Nangyari na eh. Ito na, nagkaroon na ng consequence yung bad thing na nangyari or yung traumatic experience na nangyari. And it's not gonna help you. If you keep on repeating and repeating and repeating that experience in your mind, it's not gonna help you. And then you're actually hurting your neurons, girl. It's actually hurting your mind. Okay, so mga parang hindi naman unfair sa ibang nakikinig na dudes. Okay, so dude, stop it. Stop. Stop. Don't even try to think about it over and over again. Okay? So stop ruminating. If you find yourself ruminating or iniisip mo na naman yun, siguro one thing to do, mag-TikTok ka, mag-YouTube ka, mag-Spotify ka, or whatever, listen to my podcast, diba? It can help you, engage your logical mind. And pag nag-iisip ka kasi, yung emotional brain mo, nawawala na siya sa scene. So, nagkakaroon na siya, pumupunta na siya sa backstage. Ang nagpo-front stage na, yung logical brain mo, or thinking brain mo. So, yun. Okay, next. So, itong next key topic na to, or yung next step ko, I am not disregarding the effect of my faith to my recovery. Okay? Just bear with me kung ikaw ay atheist. Just bear with me. Just listen to me. And don't try to pause this, please. So, yun. Prayers, I think it's the most important thing that really kept me alive during this journey. Like, seriously. Because I approach prayer as a way of me making sumbong to my Father in heaven. Kasi nga, 'di ba, yung traumatic experience ko sa child, hindi ko na-experience yung parang, okay, pupunta ako, tatakbo ko yung nanay ko, tatay ko, pag may nangyaring masama sa akin. Hindi naging ganun yung childhood ko eh. So, ang approach ko ngayon sa prayer is, para ako nagsusumbong kay God the Father. It doesn't have to be a request, really. Sometimes, siya yung parang, yung mood diary or journal ko. Siya yung sumbungan ko, si God the Father. If I don't understand anything, I ask wisdom through prayer. If the pain is overwhelming, sometimes my prayer is just, Lord, help me. It doesn't have to be composed of flowery words na you say again and again and again. It's not that way. And I'm really stopping myself from crying right now. Pero prayers is a really great thing. For me, it's my weapon for depression, because it makes me feel that I am not alone in this journey. And then my faith also led me to the people who love me unconditionally, to my church family, we found, actually both my husband and I found that paternal love and maternal love from the leaders from our church. And then kahit na hindi nila kami kadugo, they made us feel na anak nila kami or anak nila ako. And it really healed me in a very amazing way. And actually, parang medyo nalulungkot nga ako dun sa mga tao na nagpo-post sa ating Facebook group na sinasabi nila na they have tried to approach a person and then sinabihan sila na kulang ka kasi sa faith, kulang ka sa prayer, kaya ka ganyan, besh. Sarap. Naka. And I'm really hurt when I encounter people like that. Kasi, alam mo yon, yung faith, hindi mo naman kasi sariling gawa yan eh. It's not of your own doing. Your capability to pray is not your own doing. Your faith is not your own doing. Kasi kapag pinamukha mo doon sa taong nagsasuffer na kaya sila nagsasuffer is because they don't have faith, anong meron ka? Hindi faith ang meron ka. Yabang. Yabang. So, they just don't understand the real essence of prayer. That's just it. Okay, so ayun, kasi siyempre depression, din yan eh. Cognitive, behavioral, worldview, your moral beliefs. So it's really encompassing. So nung I get to understand the value of my suffering and what will it mean, and then how I can help people with it, that actually led me to my last point, or to my last step in healing. Through faith, I found my purpose in my pain, or I found the purpose in my pain. And actually, I think this is just like a personal tip for anyone listening right now to this podcast, is that yes, you cannot change what happened. What happened. Wala tayong magagawa dun eh. Yun na yun eh. Pero if you put purpose in that pain, dinikitan mo ng purpose, dinikitan mo ng magandang alaala, dinikitan mo ng thought na, uy, may natulungan ako dahil sa pain kong yun. And they were able to survive, they were able to relate, they were able to receive that healing through my testimony, through me sharing my experiences as a child, and it healed them, it made them feel not alone. It's not as painful as anymore. Kasi nilagyan ko ng nilagyan ko ng purpose. And actually, that wisdom came from the Lord na your suffering is for a purpose. It's for a greater purpose. Why it happened. So, nung dinikitan ko, nadikitan na, hindi ko dinikitan, it's not on my own strength and will, pero nung nadikitan na siya ng purpose, my pain and my purpose combined, nag-led siya into something very productive. Like, I'm managing group, I'm doing this podcast, I'm recording my TikTok videos, not out of anything, I'm not receiving any money from it. Pero yung mga tao na nag-a-approach sa akin saying na, I have been listening to your podcast and it really helped me. It heals me then as well. So, nandun yung fact na nahanap ko yung antidote ko to my depression. Purpose. And I cannot say na nakuha ko yung wisdom na to sa kung sino man. I did not got this wisdom from my doctor. I did not got this wisdom from my husband. And I actually found that wisdom through prayers and faith. Pero, caveat ha, hindi ako yung tipo ng tao na, faith lang, walang works. Faith lang, kaya ko na yan. Hindi. Through prayers and faith and medication and my doctor and my support group and my church family, I was able to find that healing. Kasi nga, ang depression, hindi lang siya one facet. It's also social, it's also cognitive and behavioral, it's also your biological, it's also what you eat. Several things. Really. And for us na may ADHD, yun, mas prone tayo talaga for depression. Kasi nga, pareho ang depression and ADHD, they both deal with the emotional dysregulation part of things. Which is very, very unlucky. Yun. So, actually, I personally, parang gusto ko na lang parang 2 episode na lang yung depression. Kasi, I do think that there's more to that. Okay? So, ayun. I hope na kung nakikinig ka ngayon, you were able to take down notes, though I will be taking notes naman dito sa description ng podcast episode na to. And I really do hope that you will find the healing. Kasi naman, you deserve it. You deserve the healing. Every one of us deserve healing. Sabi nga, diba? Healing for everyone. We all do deserve it. So, my tip for you is take your medications, be kind to yourself, eat well, rest well, eat right, be in the right group of people, be in the right environment. Kasi kung inom ka ng inom, tapos toxic yung environment mo, good luck sa'yo. Pero, ang bet ko doon, matatalo yung gamot mo. Gano'n talaga. Kung magde-decide ka mag-medicate, you have to also do big decisions about your environment. May dapat ka bang alisan? May dapat ka bang gawin na radical change before you enter the healing process? Kasi sadly, for most of us, depression happens with our family, Like, sila yung nagiging trigger. Tapos, syempre, di ba, parang, ang hirap mamuhay mag-isa dito sa Pilipinas. So, parang walang choice to leave. I mean, alam ko gano'ng kahirap yon kasi, napunta din ako sa ganong stage ng life ko. Pero, yun din talaga. Ang tip ko sa'yo, walang iba. Not sick, the right doctor, not sick, the right medication for you, not sick, the diagnosis, the right diagnosis for you. My number one tip for you is to get out from that toxic environment, toxic relationships. It's not gonna do you well. Okay? It's not gonna do you well. I promise you. I have yet to see a person who said, dumating naman ako sa depression ko kahit kasama ko sila eh. I have yet to, know a person that can tell that to me. But for now, wala pa naman. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. So, naging light naman. Yung episode na to. Thank God. Naging light naman. Pero, yon, I hope this episode was able to help you. And I will link down the first episode below. If you haven't listened to it, please do. Pero siguro handa kayo ng mga tissues. Kasi iiyak kayo doon. Kasi pati ako napaiyak. Nagsisi, ba't ko na-record yun? Pero, all is well naman. All is well. Alright. So, I hope you enjoy your night. Kasi night ko ni-record to, or day, or afternoon. I hope you will have a great day ahead. So, bye-bye!